Hi, I'm Grace, aka Light Looper. I'm a singer, mother, and vocal frequency activator and healer. Join me as I journey through my shadow. Enjoy as I lovingly perform live light language jams on the Loop Station and receive all the spiritual guidance and insights I've picked up along the way on this wild journey. You can find me on Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube. So, let's return to our natural frequency of love together. Hi everybody, it's been a while, it's been a long while. So I'm sitting here trying to think, do I do a video or do I do a podcast? And of course I want to do both, but I don't have the means to do that right now. So I'm hoping at some point I will separate the audio from this video and it will be a podcast. Surely there's an app for that. There must be an app for that. Anyway, I've been doing some writing on my phone, making notes, which I have been doing for ages. I always do it. I always have musings and realizations and awarenesses and write them down and never really share them. Sometimes I share them like in little snippets on Instagram, but I've kind of missed, I used to do a lot of talking videos and I've kind of missed that because, again, this is the reason why I started my podcast ages ago, that I was just voice noting so much. And I'm like, I need to have a permanent platform for this rather than just like sharing bits here and there and whatnot. So I've been writing some stuff about twin flames, and I say twin flames, my experience in a twin flame relationship. Now, this is a phrase that until I met my divine counterpart, I thought it was ridiculous. I just thought it was a phrase made up by people who were lonely and codependent and wanted to find comfort in someone else that wasn't themselves. Which probably is the reason why now it triggers me when people still have that belief, because I'm like, it's not true. So I'm going to explain a little bit about my experience in this dynamic over the last 3.5 years and what it means to me, and take it or leave it. See, it'd be interesting to see kind of who's interested in this subject. And I normally find it is, like everything, others who have experienced similar. So way back many years ago, only 3.5 years ago, I met my romantic partner who I'm with now, Connor, or goes by the name of Contre Bar. I could say so much about the story about when we met, but probably I'll save that for a podcast when me and him eventually get back into doing our podcasts. And for now, I'm just going to relay like the awarenesses and stuff that have come with it and what I believe this connection is about and what it's for and what it's helped me through. So I'm just going to read and then elaborate on my readings. So the twin flame paradox is what I've called it, because a lot of the time it does feel like a paradox, and that's because of what we've been conditioned to believe is relationships so far. So this journey is all about carrying the frequency of unconditional love, not codependent love, which is based on attachment. I mean pure unconditional love. Meeting your soul mirror is an incredible ride like nothing you've ever experienced before. It's an undeniable knowing of each other. Something beyond your comprehension is activated within you. It's a fast track to elevated consciousness, but it comes with the work. Your soul mirror will reflect anything back to you that is not currently operating from your highest potential. You're both vibrating at a high frequency with each other, so anything less than this, i.e. your shadow side, will be brutally brought right up and reflected back at you. Just by being in each other's presence, this energy is active at all times. So I'm just going to elaborate on that. So basically, just by being in each other's presence, and sometimes not even being in each other's presence, just being alive together at the same time on Earth is enough to trigger your shadow. So even if you have the best will in the world, the kindest intentions in your soul to make this other person happy, or to maybe if they're experiencing something and you just want to make them feel good, it ain't gonna fly. It's just not gonna work. If you are not coming from a pure place yourself, if you're perhaps putting your needs second and their needs first, that's never gonna work in a twin flame dynamic. It's all about looking after number one, and then that is when the connection happens. So as the frequency of unconditional love weaves through all experiences you share, if you're both self-aware and operating from your divinity, so your divine feminine or your divine masculine, whichever one is leading you, this can be the most blissful, loving and ecstatic state, and one which you are both consciously or subconsciously obtaining to reach at all times. We're all trying to find our way back to love. This journey is here to burn away the old and ignite the new. So an analogy I've put here is, have any of you ever been on a psychedelic journey? Well, now that could be with psychedelic plant medicine, or synthetic psychedelic medicine, or breath work. There's lots of different modalities that you can use to get into the psychedelic state, which for me means one of melting the ego and getting into your truth, getting into your shadow, healing that way. So if you've ever been on a psychedelic journey, you've felt the depths of the discomfort and the pain, and you've seen your shadow, and it's come up and it's ugly, and it's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? I have to feel this, I have to heal this, I have to release this. And it's a fucking ordeal. But it's healing, and it's great, and it's what we all need. And then afterwards, normally in these kind of journeys, you get this blissful state afterwards, the afterglow. It's been called before, and it is just the presence of unconditional love, because this love that is there when we melt that ego, that is our base state. So these shadowy parts of us, they can't exist when this love is present, when it's like unveiled by melting the ego. So this is how I explained a day in the life of a twin flame union, because when we are together, that energy is ever present. So it's the energy of the unconditional love that is ever present between these two beings, that just is highlighting shadows left, right and center. So for a twin flame relationship to thrive, partners must both take full responsibility for their shadow, and to learn not to project any wounds, circumstances, pain, upset, frustrations, jealousy, etc. onto their partner. If anything, and I mean anything, I've written in capitals here, is projected onto their partner, then you're going to have a much, much tougher time working through that trauma and releasing that trauma, and you're going to be there, you're going to be stuck in it for a lot longer, you're going to be resisting it, and it's fucking hard work. Having said this, every single wound that arises will be mirroring exactly what is needed in the other person. So there is no place for blame. There are no coincidences or mistakes. Every wound is a direct response to its current environment. It's a constant invitation to heal and let go. Something we have recognized, and I'll talk about I have recognized over these years, is that there truly are no coincidences, and it's just like life in general, but the twin flame dynamic highlights it. It's like a highlighted, supercharged version of this. Everything in our external mirrors what's going on internally, right? And so this is what is going on with the twin flame union, but magnified tenfold. So whatever we're whatever we're unconsciously carrying that is holding us back, the other will just naturally have the exact precise circumstance or thing that they say, they'll just blurt out their mouth, or an opportunity might come to them which you've been wanting for so long, and it's all just orchestrated in this just perfect mirror of soul mirror of what we need. It's always what we need. Every time we face something and it's difficult, and we're like, why is this happening? You know, the resistant thought patterns, like, why is this happening? Why is this here? This is so uncomfortable. Why has this come up between us? And every time we come out the other side, we're like, oh, if that didn't happen, then we wouldn't be here. And what normally happens is one of us, we're like, this is where the twin flame element comes in, because you'll be constantly igniting each other. So one of us will trigger something in the other one will kind of like go introspectively, do the work, and then they'll kind of elevate, they'll grow. And then this other one is like, right, okay, so now this is triggering this, right? Oh, wait. Some of you might be listening or not watching. So I've got both my hands parallel. So one of us will trigger the other one, and then the other one grows. So the other one's elevated. So the other ones say, let's just say a higher up the scale of elevated consciousness. They've grown. If one of you keeps growing and the other one doesn't grow, there's a fucking mismatch and you're breaking up. That's just the law of energetics. So it's a constant state of one of you growing, then the other one catching up, then the other one growing, then the other one catching up. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. It's like fast track healing constantly. So where am I? So once this process is understood, it can be used as the most powerful alchemy to transform, grow and heal. Both must take responsibility and be aware of this to maximize the medicine of the connection, and thus they will find heaven within. This connection is about finding complete divinity and union with oneself. Excuse me, I just burped. So it's about finding the union within yourself. It's not about a codependent relationship. It's not about finding what you need in the other person, because in a twin flame union, you're not gonna find it. This is the massive thing about it. Past relationships that I've been in, I've needed something, and the other person has provided it for me. So how the hell am I ever going to find that within myself? In a twin flame union, you are not going to find what you're looking for in that other person. And I think that's one of the biggest things about this union, the most powerful things. Many, 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 many times, me and my partner have needed something that might look totally surface level to the average Joe, but we are energetically unable to give that to each other until we find it ourselves. And then guess what? The other one matches it and is able to provide it for us. So, where did I get up to here? So it's about finding, complete union within yourself, which is the complete balance of the masculine and feminine energies. Now, this is the beauty of my masculine and feminine connection that I have with Connor. I can only speak on behalf of a male and female, a man and woman connection, because that is all I have personally experienced. But he is the complete mirror reflection of mostly my masculine side. So whatever I am lacking, shall we say, within my masculine, wherever I am still operating from a wounded masculine point of view, he will mirror that, and that will show up massively in our relationship and highlight where I need to look within and heal myself. Likewise, the other way around with his feminine, his divine feminine within. This connection is about finding complete divinity. If we ever fall upon our shadow of dependence or avoidance within this relationship, this again will be painfully energetically mirrored back through our counterpart. So if you've got any avoidant behaviors or if you've got any attachments, that's going to show up. The paradox being, the teachings are here to rip us away from the old codependent paradigms and bring us in deeper to ourselves. I just spoke about that anyway. The more we truly open our hearts and trust within this relationship, the deeper the love and trust we'll discover within. And all of the above applies to our everyday life, with absolutely everything that happens in our external is mirroring what is going on internally. The twin flame journey is a fast track version, and if we choose to be aware, remain open-hearted and trust, it can be the most powerful version of love that you could ever wish to experience. So I've spoken a lot about the triggers and the mirrors, but with this comes the fact that if we are willing to live from a place of love and a place of truth, they are what I've experienced to be the two main factors in the divine feminine and masculine aspects. If we choose to live within these energies, if we choose to express our fullest divine masculine and feminine, then we will be mirroring that back to each other. Now that place is exceptionally powerful, exceptionally beautiful, and we are exceptionally lucky to experience this. It's a place of true unconditional love, firstly for ourselves, and secondly for our union, for our relationship. Now the energy within this relationship is more, we are devoted to the connection rather than the other person. So whatever we co-create together, whether that's physically within our sexual energy exchange, whether that's within our music, whether that's within our play, if we're going out for the day, having fun somewhere, whether that's within our connections, in our deep discussions, we're focusing on our connection, and we're focusing on almost our relationship being this separate entity, this kind of like third energy, rather than me devoting myself to him devoting his self to me. It's more, we are putting our energy into the relationship as a whole. And when you view it like this, it's transformational. And it, for me personally, it just shatters all paradigms of relationships. I guess I won't speak too much more about that, because one day I would like to do this podcast with Connor and speak about this and have him bouncing backwards and forwards on it, because I know it's going to be really, really interesting and really fun to do. For once in my life, I have been talking a lot less than I thought I would, which has now shocked me. I'm in a state of shock right now. Wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I'm going to work out how to rip the audio off this video and hopefully upload it as my third podcast, because I've been wanting to make another one for so freaking long, and I've finally done it. So thank you for listening. I'm going to carry on chatting about some other stuff now, make another one probably. And whilst at the moment I am inconsistent with the stuff that I'm posting up, one day I hope to get into a flow, because I have quite, I just need a bit more structure. Let's just put it like that. I'm going to structure some stuff in, and I'm going to try and work out what I actually want to do and what I actually want to share, because there's so much. There's my art, there's my music, there's my podcast, there's my freaking everything I want to express and share. So I'm going to try and prioritize some things. And yes, that is it. That is the end of the podcast. I need to stop talking now and move on. So thank you for listening, and lots of love always.